They say love is blind. But money? Money has 20/20 vision. This is the story of Sofia Reyes, a woman who came to America with nothing but hope in her suitcase. A housekeeper who cleaned the mansions of the wealthy while dreaming of something more. And the moment she realized that falling in love with the wrong person can cost you everything. Some love stories are forbidden because of culture, others because of race. This one was forbidden because of money. And in America, that might be the biggest divide of all. Sofia Reyes was 32 years old when this story began. She'd been in America for 12 years, having crossed the border from Guadalajara, Mexico with her younger sister when she was 20. Their mother had died. Their father had disappeared into addiction. Sofia and her sister, Carmen, had nothing left to lose and everything to hope for. So they came north like so many before them, chasing the American dream. People think housekeepers are invisible. They walk past us like we're furniture. They leave their most private things out because they forget we're human beings who can see, who can think, who can feel. I've cleaned up after their parties. I've washed their wine-stained sheets. I've seen how they really live. And the truth is, most rich people aren't happy. They just have expensive ways of being miserable. Sofia worked for the Whitmore family. Not just any wealthy family, the Whitmores were American royalty. Old money. The kind of money that came from railroads and steel and investments made generations ago. The kind of money that bought politicians and named hospital wings. Charles Whitmore III was the patriarch, CEO of Whitmore Holdings. Victoria Whitmore was his wife, a former debutante who now ran charity galas and sat on museum boards. They had 2 children, Catherine, 28, who worked in brand consulting, which meant spending her trust fund, and Alexander, Alex, their 30-year-old son, the heir apparent being groomed to take over the empire. Sofia had worked in their Boston mansion for 3 years. She knew every corner of their 30-room home. She knew which bathroom Victoria preferred. She knew that Charles liked his newspaper folded exactly so. She knew Catherine spilled wine on the carpet every Friday night. And she knew that Alex was different. Most days, the Whitmores barely acknowledged Sofia. She was part of the machinery of their life, necessary but unnoticed. Except Alex. Alex always said good morning, always thanked her, sometimes asked how she was doing, and actually waited for the answer. It was a Wednesday in October when everything changed. Sofia was cleaning the library, one of her favorite rooms. Floor-to-ceiling books, most of them probably never read, but beautiful nonetheless. She was dusting the shelves when she heard someone enter. I've always wondered if anyone actually reads these books. Sofia turned. Alex stood in the doorway, home from his office early, tie loosened, looking tired but genuine. Some of them have been opened, Mr. Whitmore. The Russian literature section shows the most wear. You notice things like that? It's my job to notice things. And here I thought your job was just to dust. What's your name? I mean, I should know your name. You've worked here for years. Sofia hesitated. The Whitmores employed 6 people for the house. Most of the family didn't know any of their names. Sofia Reyes, Alex, though I guess you know that. Listen, can I ask you something? And please be honest. Do you think my parents actually care about the art they collect? Or is it just for show? It was a trap. It had to be. Rich people didn't ask housekeepers for honest opinions. Mr. Whitmore, I'm not sure that's appropriate for me to. Please, I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm asking because I genuinely want to know. You see this house differently than we do. You see what's real and what's performance. Sofia looked at him. Really looked. He seemed sincere. Tired. Maybe even a little lonely. I think your mother cares about what the art says about her. Your father cares about the investment value. Your sister doesn't care at all. But you actually stop and look at the paintings sometimes. I've seen you. You do notice everything. That's refreshing. Everyone else in my life tells me what they think I want to hear. Thank you for being honest. He left then, but something had shifted. Sofia felt it. A door had opened, just a crack. Over the next few weeks, these conversations became routine. Alex would find excuses to be in whatever room Sofia was cleaning. They'd talk about books, about art, about ideas. Never about anything too personal but real nonetheless. Sofia told herself it meant nothing. He was bored. She was a novelty. This was how rich people entertained themselves, finding new ways to feel cultured and enlightened by connecting with the help. But then came the day that changed everything. It was a Friday afternoon. Sofia was cleaning the guest bathroom on the second floor when she heard shouting from the study. Charles Whitmore's voice, angry and booming. "You're throwing away your future. Harvard Business School, 3 years at Morgan Stanley, and you want to what? Start a nonprofit? With our money?" It's not just a nonprofit, Dad. It's a venture capital fund focused on underserved communities. Giving loans to people the banks ignore. Creating opportunities to waste our family's resources. You think those people know how to run businesses? You think throwing money at poverty solves anything? You're naive, Alexander. Dangerously naive. Those people? Listen to yourself. You made your fortune on their backs. Every one of our investments depends on workers who can barely afford rent. And you won't even consider. This conversation is over. You will take your place at Whitmore Holdings, or you will find yourself cut off. No trust fund. No inheritance. Nothing. See how your idealism survives without money. A door slammed. Heavy footsteps down the hall. Then silence. Sofia stood frozen, dust cloth in hand. She shouldn't have heard that. She backed out of the bathroom quietly, trying to be invisible again. But as she turned, she nearly collided with Alex in the hallway. His face was flushed, his jaw tight, his eyes bright with unshed tears of frustration. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I should go." But he didn't move. He stood there, this man who had everything, looking utterly lost. "Mr. Whitmore, are you okay?" "Honestly, no. But thank you for asking. You're the only person in this house who ever does." Sofia did something then that she'd later wonder about. Something that crossed the invisible line between employer and employee. She touched his arm. Just briefly. A gesture of comfort. "I know it's not my place, but whatever you're trying to do, if it matters to you, don't let anyone take that away. Not even family. Maybe especially not family." "How do you do that?" "Do what?" "Say exactly what I need to hear. Everyone else has advice that serves their interests. You see me. The real me." That's when Sofia should have walked away. Should have remembered her place, her job, her precarious position as an undocumented worker in a country that could deport her at any moment. But she didn't walk away. Maybe because I know what it's like to feel invisible. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Not even a billionaire's son. "Sofia, can I ask you something? And please be honest again. Do you think I'm crazy? Wanting to use money to actually help people instead of just making more money? I think the world needs more people like you. People who've seen both sides and choose compassion. That's not crazy. That's brave." They stood in that hallway, housekeeper and heir, closer than they should be. And for the first time, Sofia saw Alex not as Mr. Whitmore's son, but as Alex. Just Alex. A man trying to be good in a world that rewarded being ruthless. And Alex saw Sofia not as the housekeeper, but as a woman. Intelligent, strong, beautiful in a way that had nothing to do with the designer clothes his mother wore. "Would you have coffee with me? Away from here. Just as people. Not as anything else. Just two people talking." Sofia's heart pounded. Every instinct screamed no. This was dangerous. This could cost her everything. But when she looked into his eyes, she saw something she'd been missing for 12 years in America. She saw someone who saw her. Saturday, 2 p.m. There's a coffee shop in Jamaica Plain. Small place, no one you know will be there. You said yes. I said yes. But Mr. Whitmore, Alex, this stays between us. If your family finds out, I know. I'll be careful. Promise. He walked away then. And Sofia stood in that hallway, wondering if she'd just made the best or worst decision of her life. Saturday arrived. Sofia changed clothes 4 times. Nothing too nice, that would be presumptuous. Nothing too casual, that would be disrespectful. She settled on jeans and a simple blue blouse. Her dark hair down. Minimal makeup. Herself. The coffee shop was in Jamaica Plain, a working-class neighborhood far from the Whitmore mansion in Beacon Hill. Sofia arrived first, nervous, half expecting Alex not to show. But at 2 p.m. exactly, he walked through the door. And he wasn't wearing a suit. Jeans. A plain gray t-shirt. A red Sox cap. He looked normal, approachable, human. You came. So did you? I wasn't sure you would. I haven't stopped thinking about this since Wednesday. Sofia, I need to be honest with you. I don't know what this is. I don't know where it goes. But I know that talking to you feels more real than anything else in my life. Is that crazy? If it is, then we're both crazy. Because I feel it too. They talked for 4 hours. Not about money or class or the vast canyon between their lives. They talked about books. About Sofia's childhood in Guadalajara. About Alex's lonely childhood. Surrounded by everything except warmth. About dreams and fears and the people they wanted to be. When I crossed the border, I was so scared. Not of getting caught. I was scared that I'd get here and discover the dream was a lie. That America didn't want people like me. And in many ways, I was right. I'm invisible here. Or I was until you saw me. I see you, Sofia. I see how hard you work. How kind you are even when no one's watching. How you care for my family's home better than they care for each other. You're not invisible. You're extraordinary. Sofia felt tears threatening. She'd been in America for 12 years, and no one had ever called her extraordinary. Your world and mine, Alex, they don't touch. What we're doing right now, it's borrowed time. You know that, right? Maybe. Or maybe the world is wrong. Maybe these divisions we accept as natural are just constructions. Rich and poor. Citizen and immigrant. They're just stories we tell ourselves. But you and I? We're real. This is real. When they left the coffee shop, the sun was setting. Alex walked Sofia to the train station. They stood on the platform, knowing they couldn't be seen together anywhere else. Knowing this moment would end. Can I see you again? Alex, what happens when your family finds out? Because they will find out. And when they do, I lose my job. Maybe worse. Immigration, detention, deportation. I'm undocumented. Alex. I'm not legal. If they want to hurt me, they can destroy my entire life. Alex's face changed. He hadn't known. Of course he hadn't known. People like him didn't think about immigration status. Then we'll be more careful. Sofia, I won't let anything happen to you. Promise. You can't promise that. You're not as powerful as you think. Not compared to your father. But despite her words, despite knowing better, Sofia agreed to see him again. For the next 3 months, Sofia and Alex lived a double life. At the Whitmore mansion, she was still the invisible housekeeper. He was still the distant heir. They barely spoke. When they passed each other, she called him Mr. Whitmore. He nodded politely, but twice a week they met in Jamaica Plain. In working-class coffee shops and neighborhood restaurants where no one knew the Whitmore name. They walked in Franklin Park. They talked for hours. And slowly, carefully, they fell in love. I tried to protect myself. I tried to keep distance. But Alex was different from anyone I'd ever met. He wasn't just rich and privileged. He actually hated those things about himself. He wanted to be better. And when I was with him, I felt like I could be more than the invisible woman who cleaned other people's homes. Alex told her about his dreams. The microfinance fund he wanted to start. The communities he wanted to help. The empire he didn't want to inherit. My trust fund activates when I'm 35. 5 more years. If I can just wait it out, take the money that's legally mine, I can leave. Start over. Build something that actually matters. 5 years is a long time. Sofia, I need to tell you something. I'm falling in love with you. Maybe I already have. And I know this is complicated and dangerous and probably impossible, but I needed you to know. Sofia's heart shattered and soared at the same time. Alex, I love you too, but loving you terrifies me. Because when this ends, and it will end, I'll lose more than just you. I'll lose everything I've built here. Then we don't let it end. We fight. We find a way. They kissed then. Their first kiss. Hidden on a park bench in a neighborhood where no one knew them. It was tender and desperate and filled with the knowledge that their time was borrowed. For 3 months they stole moments, secret meetings, hidden touches, a love that had to remain invisible because the world they lived in couldn't accept it. But secrets, especially in houses with eyes everywhere, don't stay secret forever. It was Elena, the other housekeeper, who first suspected. She'd worked for the Whitmores for 15 years. She missed nothing. She noticed Sofia smiling more, noticed Alex's questions about Sofia's schedule, noticed the way they carefully avoided eye contact when others were present, which meant there was eye contact when no one was watching. Elena was older, a grandmother from El Salvador. She'd seen enough in her years to know when two people were hiding something. One evening, she cornered Sofia in the laundry room. "Mija, I need to talk to you, and you need to be honest with me." "About what?" "About El Señor Alex. You're seeing him, outside of work. Don't lie to me. I can see it in your eyes." Sofia's blood ran cold. "Elena, please. I can explain." "No, you can't explain. There is no explanation that makes this okay." "Sofia, do you understand what you're risking? These people, they're not like us. They don't see us as human. We're furniture. Useful furniture. And when furniture breaks or misbehaves, they throw it away. I know it's wrong. But Elena, he sees me. He actually sees me. When was the last time anyone in this country made you feel like you mattered? I know, Mija. I know it's lonely. But his seeing you won't protect you when his family finds out. And they will find out. Rich people always find out. They have too much to lose not to." Sofia knew Elena was right. But knowing and stopping were two different things. "What do I do?" "You end it. Before it costs you everything. Before it costs both of you everything." But Sofia couldn't end it. Because the next day, Alex did something that changed everything. It was a Sunday. The Whitmores always had family dinner on Sundays, a tradition Victoria insisted on. Sofia normally served, then disappeared. Invisible again. But this Sunday, as Sofia was clearing the soup course, Alex spoke. "Mother, father, Catherine. I need to tell you something." The table went quiet. Sofia froze, still holding the soup tureen. "What is it, Alexander?" "I've been seeing someone. For 3 months. Serious. I'm in love with her." "Oh my God. Finally. Who is she? Anyone we know? Please tell me she's not another boring Wellesley grad." To Sofia, the silence that followed was absolute. Charles Whitmore's fork stopped midway to his mouth. Victoria's hand went to her throat. Catherine's mouth fell open. Sofia stood there, holding the soup tureen, her entire world collapsing. "I'm sorry. Did you say Sofia?" "Yes. Sofia Reyes. Your housekeeper. The woman you walk past every day without acknowledging. The woman who knows more about this family than any of us acknowledge. Her. I'm in love with her." "Sofia, leave us. Now." "Mrs. Whitmore, Now." Sofia fled. The soup tureen crashed to the counter in the kitchen. She heard shouting from the dining room, muffled but furious. Charles's voice. Alex's voice raised in defense. Victoria's shrill accusations. Elena appeared in the kitchen doorway. "Get your things. Leave. Right now." "What?" "No, I need to." "Sofia. Leave. They're going to fire you. Or worse. Get out while you can." But before Sofia could move, Victoria stormed into the kitchen. Her face was fury and disgust. "You. How dare you? How dare you seduce my son?" "Mrs. Whitmore, it wasn't like that. Gold digger. That's all you are. You saw an opportunity and you took it. Well, it won't work. I'm calling immigration right now. I'm having you deported tonight." Sofia's worst nightmare spoken out loud. "Weaponized. Please, Mrs. Whitmore. I'll leave. I'll never see him again. Just please don't call immigration. I have a sister. She depends on me. Please." "Mother, you will not call immigration. This doesn't concern you anymore, Alexander. This woman has manipulated you." "She hasn't manipulated anyone. I pursued her. I'm the one who kept asking to see her. She tried to say no." "Alexander, step away from the help. Her name is Sofia. And she's not the help. She's the woman I love. Then you're even more foolish than I thought. You think you love her? You love the idea of rebellion. You love disappointing me. But you don't love her. You can't. She's not even from our world. I'm standing right here. You're talking about me like I'm not even human. Victoria turned on her, eyes blazing. You are fired. Get out of my house. If you're here in 10 minutes, I'm calling the police. If you contact my son again, I'm calling immigration. Do you understand me? Mom, Dad, listen to me. I'm 30 years old. I'm in love with Sofia. And if you can't accept that, then what, Alexander? You'll what? Leave? With what money? You have a trust fund that doesn't vest for 5 years. You have a job at my company that I can terminate. You have an apartment I pay for. So tell me, how exactly do you plan to support yourself and your girlfriend? The trap was sprung. Alex stood there, realizing the cage he'd always lived in. I'll figure it out. No, you won't, because you've never had to figure anything out. You've never known struggle. Neither have you known real consequence. Until now. So here's your choice, son. End this ridiculous infatuation, apologize to your mother, and we'll pretend this embarrassing episode never happened. Or walk out that door with her and lose everything. Your family, your money, your future, all of it. Alex looked at Sofia. Sofia looked at him. And in that moment, they both knew the truth. Love wasn't enough. Not against this much power. Not against people willing to wield it without mercy. Don't throw your life away for me. It's not worth it. Sofia, yes you are. No, listen to me. You have a dream. That fund you want to start. Those communities you want to help. You can't do any of that without money. And I can't let you destroy your future for something that was never going to work anyway. She was giving him an out. Sacrificing herself so he wouldn't have to sacrifice everything. I'll leave. Tonight. And I'll never contact Alex again. But please don't call immigration. I'm begging you. Fine. You leave now, disappear completely, and I'll forget you exist. But if I see you, if I hear you've contacted Alexander, I will destroy you. Are we clear? Sofia nodded. Turned to Alex one last time. I love you. I'll always love you. But your mother's right about one thing, we're from different worlds. I'm sorry I let myself forget that. She walked out then. Didn't even get her things. Just walked out of the Whitmore mansion, into the cold Boston night. Her heart shattered into pieces too small to ever put back together. Sofia moved in with Carmen, her younger sister, who worked as a waitress in Dorchester. She found a new job cleaning offices at night. She tried to forget, tried to move on. But Boston felt like a ghost town. Every street corner held a memory. Every coffee shop reminded her of stolen moments. Amanda, you have to eat something. You've lost so much weight. I'm not hungry. This man, he's destroying you. And for what? He didn't fight for you. He let you walk away. I told him to let me go. It wasn't his fault. It's always their fault, Sofia. Rich people, they play with us like toys. And when their parents say no, they fold. Because money matters more than love. It always does. But Carmen didn't know the whole story. She didn't know that Alex had tried to find Sofia. That he'd gone to the Jamaica Plain coffee shop every day for 2 weeks. That he'd called every hospital, every shelter, desperate to find her. She didn't know because Elena had warned Sofia. Don't answer. Don't let him find you. His mother is watching. One contact and she'll make good on her threat. So Sofia stayed hidden. And Alex suffered in his own prison, the golden cage of his family's wealth. I thought I could be strong enough. I thought love would be enough. But my parents were right about one thing. I've never known real struggle. And the first time they asked me to choose between my comfort and my love, I hesitated. Just for a moment. But that moment was enough. Sofia saw it. She saw me calculate what I'd lose. And she made the choice for me. 3 months passed. Sofia worked. Carmen worried. Alex went through the motions at Whitmore Holdings, a shell of himself. And then, something changed. It was Catherine who finally broke the stalemate. Despite her privileged upbringing, despite her superficiality, Catherine loved her brother. and she'd watched him become a ghost. She found Sofia. Sofia was coming out of the office building she cleaned when a car pulled up. Not just any car, a Tesla. The passenger window rolled down. Catherine Whitmore sat in the driver's seat. "Get in. We need to talk." "I can't." "Your mother said." "My mother is a vindictive bitch who's never worked a day in her life." "Get in the car, Sofia. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm trying to help." Against her better judgment, Sofia got in. "My brother is miserable. Like clinically depressed miserable. He won't eat. Won't sleep. He shows up at work like a zombie. And my parents? They're thrilled. They think they broke him. That he'll fall in line now. But I know better. I know Alex. And he's not broken, he's dying. Slowly. What do you want from me? I want you to know something. Alex is planning to leave. He's been secretly selling assets. Liquidating investments. Things my parents don't know about. Stock options from early startup investments. Crypto he bought years ago. He's been building an escape fund. Sofia's heart pounded. Why are you telling me this? Because in 2 weeks, he's going to walk away from everything. The trust fund, the company, all of it. He's starting over. And Sofia, he's doing it because of you. He told me. He said loving you showed him who he wants to be. Someone who chooses people over money. Someone who lives by his actual values. You changed him. But your mother will disown him. Already has, basically. Dad will rage. They'll cut him off completely. But here's the thing Sofia needs to understand. Alex is finally free. And he wants to know if you'll be free with him. Sofia couldn't breathe. I'm undocumented. I have no papers, no security. I could be deported at any time. How can he build a new life with that hanging over us? Which is why I got you this. It's a consultation with an immigration lawyer. Best in Boston. I'm paying. You're going to start the process for legal status. It's not going to be easy or quick. But it's possible. Especially if you marry a U.S. citizen. The implication hung in the air. I can't let him do this. Catherine, he's giving up billions. His family. His entire future. He's choosing his future. The one he wants. Not the one they planned for him. And Sofia, he's going to do it whether you're there or not. The only question is, do you want to be part of what he's building? Or are you going to let my mother's threats win? Sofia sat in that car, facing the biggest decision of her life. Safety meant walking away. Risk meant stepping into the unknown with a man who was giving up everything. But then she remembered his words from that park bench. You're extraordinary. No one had ever made her feel extraordinary. Until Alex. Where is he? Catherine drove Sofia to an apartment in Cambridge. Not the Whitmore mansion. Not the luxury apartment Charles paid for. A modest one-bedroom near Central Square. Continue. 2:56 p.m. Alex opened the door. He looked thinner, tired. But when he saw Sofia, his whole face transformed. Sofia. You idiot. You beautiful, crazy idiot. What are you doing? Choosing you. Choosing us. Choosing the life I actually want instead of the one I was born into. They held each other, months of separation dissolving. Alex, your trust fund doesn't vest for 5 more years. How are you going to survive? How are we going to survive? I've been liquidating assets my parents don't know about. Early investments in startups that paid off. Some cryptocurrency holdings. It's not billions. It's not even millions. But it's enough to start my microfinance fund. Enough to live on while I build something real. Something that matters. What if you regret this? What if you wake up one day and resent me for what you gave up? Sofia, I gave up a prison. A golden prison, yes, but still a prison. What I'm gaining. Freedom. Purpose. You. That's everything. The money, the mansion, the Whitmore name, none of that was mine. It was theirs. This life I'm building? With you? This one is mine. Catherine cleared her throat from the doorway. Okay, this is very sweet and all, but we need to talk logistics. Sofia, you have your immigration lawyer consultation Thursday. Alex, you have your meeting with the microfinance investors Friday. I've been doing research. There are grants, impact investors, people who want to fund exactly what you're trying to do. Why are you helping us? Because I've watched you be miserable your whole life, trying to be what they wanted. And then I watched you fall in love and actually become yourself. I'm not brave enough to walk away from the money, but I can help you do it. Consider it my rebellion by proxy." Sofia hugged Catherine. This woman who could have been an enemy had become an unlikely ally. 2 weeks later, Alex walked into the Whitmore Holdings building one last time. He'd spent 3 days drafting his resignation letter, making it clear, final. He delivered it in person to his father's office. "I wondered when you'd come crawling back. Ready to apologize?" "No, I'm here to resign. Effective immediately. I'm walking away from Whitmore Holdings, the trust fund, and this family." Charles looked up then, really looked at his son. "You can't be serious. Over that girl. Alexander, she was using you. Her name is Sofia, and she tried to push me away to protect me. That's the opposite of using someone. But this isn't just about her, Dad. It's about me. I don't want this life. I never did. You just never bothered to ask. You'll have nothing. You understand that? No money, no connections, no future. I'll have my integrity. I'll have work that matters. I'll have love. That's more than you've ever had, Dad. You have billions and you're miserable. You have a wife who resents you and children who fear you. What's that worth?" For a moment, just a moment, Charles Whitmore looked old. Tired. Maybe even sad. "You'll fail. That fund you want to start, you'll fail. And when you do, don't come back here asking for help. I won't fail. But even if I do, I'd rather fail at something I believe in than succeed at something that destroys my soul. Goodbye, Dad." Alex walked out. Didn't look back. In the elevator, his phone rang. His mother. "Your father just told me. You're actually doing this. Throwing away your birthright for that woman." "I'm claiming my birthright, Mother. The right to choose my own life. The right to love who I love. You and Dad never gave me that. Sofia did. You're my son. Doesn't that mean anything?" "It means everything. Which is why I wish you could be happy for me." "I'm finally happy, Mom. Isn't that worth something?" "I can't bless this, Alexander. I can't accept it. Then I guess this is goodbye." He hung up, walked out of the building, into the Boston afternoon, into uncertainty. But Sofia was waiting across the street. When she saw him, she smiled. And Alex realized something profound. His parents had taught him that money was security. But standing there, with nothing but the woman he loved and a dream worth fighting for, he felt more secure than he ever had in the mansion. "How do you feel?" "Terrified. Exhilarated. Alive. Let's go build something beautiful." 2 years later, Alex's microfinance fund was thriving. Not billionaire thriving, but sustainable, impactful, real. They'd helped 50 small businesses get started in underserved communities. They'd created jobs, made real differences in people's lives. Sofia's immigration case was still pending, but she had a work permit now. Legal protection. She'd finished her GED and started community college, studying social work, helping others navigate the systems she'd once feared. They lived in a small apartment in Somerville. Nothing like the Whitmore mansion, but it was theirs. People ask me if it was worth it. If loving Alex, if letting him give up everything for me, if the constant struggle of building from nothing, if it was all worth it. And I tell them this: we gave up money, but we gained freedom. We gave up comfort, but we gained purpose. We gave up approval, but we gained ourselves. So yes, 1,000 times yes. It was worth it. Catherine visited often. She'd become the unlikely bridge between Alex and his parents, though that bridge was still fragile. On their 2nd anniversary, Alex proposed. Not with a massive diamond, they couldn't afford that. With a simple silver band he'd designed himself, engraved with words in Spanish and English: Dos mundos, un amor. 2 worlds, 1 love. Sofia Reyes, you saw me when I was invisible to myself. You loved me when I had nothing to offer but hope. You believed in the man I could be, not the name I was born with. Will you marry me? Yes. 1,000,000 times yes. They married 6 months later. Small ceremony. Carmen and Catherine were the witnesses. Elena came, proud and tearful. Some of the families they'd helped through the fund came. It wasn't the society wedding Alex would have had in his old life. It was better. The Whitmores didn't attend. Charles had kept his word. Alex was cut off completely. Victoria sent a card, though. Just 3 words. I'm trying. Mom. It wasn't forgiveness. But it was something. 5 years after Alex walked away from his family, the trust fund vested. $5 million, a fraction of what he would have inherited, but his by law. He and Sofia sat at their kitchen table, the notification letter between them. What are you going to do with it? Invest it in the fund. Scale up. Help more families. That's what it was always meant for, building something that lasts. We're just redefining what legacy means. On a Tuesday in spring, 7 years after that first conversation in the library, Alex got a call from an unexpected number. His father, Alexander, his dad. I wanted you to know. I read about your fund in the Wall Street Journal. The profile piece. I read what you're doing, what you've built. And I was wrong. I told you you'd fail. But you didn't. You built something remarkable. Something I couldn't have built because I wouldn't have had the courage. I'm proud of you, son. Alex stood in his office, tears streaming down his face. He'd given up hope of ever hearing those words. Thank you, Dad. That means more than you know. Your mother wants to meet her, Sofia. If that's something you'd be willing to consider. Let me talk to my wife and get back to you. He hung up. Sofia walked over, took his hands. Your dad? He wants to meet you. Properly. Mom too. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You're the one they hurt. You get to decide if you're ready to forgive. Sofia thought about the woman she'd been 7 years ago. Invisible. Afraid. Convinced she didn't deserve to be seen. And the woman she was now. Legal resident. Social worker. Wife to a man she loved. Part of something meaningful. Let's have dinner with them. Not at the mansion, neutral ground. And if they start with any of that classist bullshit, we leave. But I'm willing to give them a chance. People can change. Look at Catherine. Look at us. The dinner happened. It was awkward. Victoria was stiff, formal, struggling to relate to the woman her son loved. Charles was more open, asking about the fund, genuinely interested in what they'd built. It wasn't a fairy tale reconciliation. The years of hurt couldn't be erased with one meal. But it was a beginning. And sometimes that's enough. This was Sofia and Alex's story. A love that crossed the greatest divide in America, the divide of class. A housekeeper and a billionaire's son who chose each other over comfort, over approval, over the easier path. Their ending isn't perfect. Sofia still faces immigration hearings. The fund still struggles for funding sometimes. Victoria still makes passive-aggressive comments about Sofia's education. But they built something real, something earned, something that belongs to them, not to their families or their histories or the world's expectations. Because love, real love, isn't about accepting the world as it is. It's about building the world as it should be. Together. Love doesn't ask permission. It doesn't follow rules. It just is. And sometimes that's enough. Thank you for listening to this story from Forbidden Hearts. If you've ever loved someone from a different world, if you've ever had to choose between love and security, share your story in the comments below. You're not alone. And remember, your worth isn't determined by your bank account. Your love story is valid no matter what class you come from.